It's with great pleasure that I introduce you to today's commencement speaker, Mr. Jeremy Litteral. Mr. Litteral has served as superintendent of Minford Local Schools since 2016. He started his education right here at Shawnee State University in 2007, where he earned a bachelor's degree in middle childhood English education. He was a standout student, earning an award for excellence in middle childhood education. After graduation, he began teaching at Jackson City Schools. Over his career, he continued his education, earning a master's degree in educational leadership at the University of Cincinnati and a superintendent certification at Ohio University. He has served as a teacher, principal, assistant superintendent, and now leads the Minford district. Let me also add that he is also taught as an adjunct professor right here at Shawnee State University. Mr. Litteral's contributions to education are far-reaching. He serves as one of Shawnee State's K-12 partners and is a member of the Shawnee State School of Education Advisory Board. He is currently working closely with the School of Education to implement a Grow Your Own program to recruit students and current staff into the teaching profession. He represents educators in our region at the state level through meetings with the Ohio Department of Education and takes student success personally. Within his district, Mr. Litteral has implemented programs to address the social and emotional learning of pre-K through 12th grade students, and we thank him for his positive impact, the impact he is making on students throughout our region. Please join me now in welcoming Mr. Jeremy Litteral.
Good afternoon. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, Nelson Mandela. The beautiful thing about learning is nobody can take it away from you, B.B. King. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life, John Dewey. You're all here today because you value the importance of education. You decided to take the pathway of obtaining a college degree. You've worked hard to make your dreams a reality. You've dedicated the time, the effort, and you have the determination it takes to reach your goals. I hope you can relate to the quotes I shared about the importance of education, and I hope you can appreciate their powerful words. However, I challenge you to think about this. What was your educational story? Who motivated you to get to this point in life? Who helped you guide yourself throughout this process? Who inspired you? And who taught you the skills you have today? If you'll let me, I'd like to tell you about my journey. Born and raised in Southern Ohio, like many of you here today, my family is a pretty average and normal group of people who believes in the power of hard work, the importance of taking care of each other, and faith. They all understand education is important, but for many of them, once they finished high school, they chose to enter the workforce instead of continuing their education. My parents worked hard to support my sister, my brother, and I, with Dad being a construction worker and Mom working at a local nursing home as a dietary aide. They taught me the value of hard work, the importance of working for what you have, and that no one owes me anything in life. I remember, however, hearing my mom tell stories about her previous work as a kindergarten teacher's aide and how much she wished she would have gone on to become a kindergarten teacher. But as she would tell you today, she simply didn't feel it was within her reach to make that happen. But she proved that I could do that. I started my educational journey in the fall of 1990, a long time ago, at Morgan Elementary School, a very small rural school here about 20 minutes away. My kindergarten class had to rotate every other day because we only had one classroom in the building. I continued in this small, tight-knit school until we consolidated to the Northwest Local School District in 1994 and spent the remainder of my educational journey at Northwest. During these years, I realized quite early I wanted to become a teacher. Whether it be that my mom instilled her wish in me, or I was inspired by the many great teachers I had the pleasure of learning from, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to make a difference, and nothing was going to stop me until I met the worst high school English teacher ever. Although I won't share his name, this particular teacher had us write a paper in his class explaining what we wanted to do after high school, how we planned to make that happen, and why. Although I can't quote any part of that paper today from memory, I can tell you that I can compare myself to Ralphie in The Christmas Story, handing in my theme about the Red Ryder BB gun and just knowing that I had aced that paper, that I had done everything that I was going to tell him I was going to do. But, like most things in life, confidence can sometimes overshadow the ugly truth. I should have mentioned that in school, I was not the person anyone would have guessed would be a teacher. I was quiet, kept to myself, had a small group of friends, and really wasn't as engaged in high school as my peers. I worked full-time at a restaurant, and I just kind of attended school events as they were. With that being said, on the day this unnamed teacher handed back my paper, one of those moments you can still feel happening 20 years later happened in my life. On my paper were the words, and I quote, "I don't think you have the personality it takes to be a teacher." I was crushed. I was angry. There were bad words in my head, trust me. How could he say this? Teaching was my dream. I had my plan in place to make it come true, and no one was going to tell me I couldn't do it. As you can imagine, these words, this person, and his doubts actually inspired me to prove him wrong. This truly is the most important comment anyone has ever written on any paper I've written in my entire life. Whether he liked it or not, he inspired me. He inspired me again to prove him wrong. He inspired me to chase my dream no matter what anyone told me about it. And he inspired me to never let anyone tell me that I can't do something. Importantly, he also inspired me not to be like him. After realizing I could do it, I finished my degree here at Shawnee State in middle school education, taught 4th and 5th grades in the Jackson City schools, obtained my master's degree, went on to be a high school principal at Amanda Clear Creek High School, and elementary principal at Minford Elementary. Take that, Mr. Unnamed Teacher. And I also taught here at Shawnee State. I'm currently filling the position of superintendent in the Minford local schools. As I shared earlier, my mom and dad and their hard work helped me make my dreams possible. I hope as you sit here today, you take a moment to reflect on those who helped support you to obtain this goal in your life. Aside from my parents, many other mentors, teachers, and my students today inspire me to keep doing the job I do each and every day. Dr. Jim Mahoney is known in our educational world as one of the great minds of our time. Jim has a story that's really similar to mine. He grew up in Appalachian, Ohio, worked in a rural school district as a teacher, a principal, and a superintendent. Then he went on to lead a multi-million-dollar nonprofit company known as Battelle for Kids. In one of Jim's speeches, he tasked educational leaders to reflect on the importance that people had in their life as they were learning through education. He asked us, who from your educational journey would you want to sign your baseball? Who are the heroes in your life? Who would I want to sign my baseball? I sat and thought. The first person I'd ask is Mrs. Betty Platzer. Mrs. Platzer was my principal at Morgan Elementary from kindergarten until 3rd grade. She walked the halls at a commanding height of less than 5 feet tall, always had a smile on her face, and talked to every student in her building every day. She knew our names, she knew our stories, and she always had the right thing to say when we needed to hear it. She was a staple in our school, the entire community, and everyone respected her. To this day, when I see Mrs. Platzer at a restaurant or anywhere else, she knows me. She knows my story and praises me for what I've accomplished. She taught me the importance of getting to know my students and the powerful impact I can have on them. Next, I would ask Mrs. Jackie Murphy to sign that ball. I had the pleasure of learning from Mrs. Murphy in 5th grade, 8th grade, and as a senior in high school when I was a student helper in her classroom for the entire year. She knew how to reach every student in her classroom. She always planned lessons they could be successful with and always knew how to motivate her kids. She taught me how to be a teacher, teaching me, praising me, and making me feel like I was someone in her classroom. When I started my college journey, I met a professor who showed me that even at the higher education level, kids, we're all kids no matter our age, still need someone to look up to. Dr. Galen Shipley was my professor in many of my courses when I was learning here at Shawnee State. Her assignments inspired me to how to work with kids. They showed me how to run a classroom and how to be a good teacher. She gave all of us more praise, feedback, and confidence than we knew at the time, and still today is one of those people who can help anyone know they can be a teacher. She taught me to believe I could be a teacher, one of the most important things someone has ever taught me. I still have the pleasure of working with her today, and she still trains teachers in our future. Then, one of the most amazing teachers in the world somehow ended up a few doors down from me in my first teaching position. Miss Mary Regal taught with me at Northview Elementary School. I was a brand new teacher, and Mary was what she called seasoned. She'd done it for a while. Sometimes you just meet someone that you want to be like, and for me, that's Mary. She had and still has this amazing ability to connect with her students, no matter their level of intelligence, where they came from, whatever trauma, or their behaviors. She taught me this phrase, God put you where you are for a reason. I ask you to think about that. Since then, I struggle to think of a day that I haven't reminded myself of those words, especially on tough days when you question why you do what you do. Mary taught me too many things to list, but most importantly, she taught me that I can make a difference with my kids, all kids. She also taught me how to be a superintendent by telling me what not to do based upon our current superintendent, and I still hold those conversations true to what I do today. As you sit here today, I challenge you to think who would sign your baseball. My sincere hope is that at least one of these people would be a teacher. I hope they impacted your life enough that you can thank them for helping you become a college graduate. I hope you realize the difference teachers at all levels of your life have made on the person you are today. I would venture to say at this point I could probably fill an entire bucket of baseballs with people who continue to inspire me, with the names of teachers, administrators, professors, most importantly my students, and many others who continue to guide me, push me, and help me to always make a difference. I would be lying if I told you every day in my job or any job is going to be great. But just as all the teachers who inspired me over the years have done, I hope each day that my work can impact the lives of my kids. Although I can think of a lot of examples, I want to share two of those examples with you today to inspire you in whatever career you take on. I brought two things with me this afternoon. This is a card from Alicia. In my first year of teaching, I had the pleasure of meeting Alicia. She was a fourth grader who came to me as a struggling learner. However, each day I got to see her learn, grow, and gain confidence. She was shy, needed a lot of support, but she loved to learn. When she learned something new, you could see that light bulb go above her head, and we spent a lot of time celebrating the smallest things that were happening in the classroom. At the end of the year, she gave me that card. It says, "Thanks for being the best teacher ever, your friend Alicia." She spelled all the words right. That's the amazing part. Although it's been 16 years since I got that card, it still means the world to me. I'm going to try and get through this next one. It's even worse, sorry. I brought a note from a student named Troy. As you can see from this note, there's a lot of words that are not spelled correctly. In my second year of teaching, I met Troy. Troy was a fourth grader who had a severe speech impediment and was very outgoing, but aware that he was not at the level of his peers. He was always a happy kid, though. He was one of those kids who could make anyone laugh, but when it came to be serious, he knew exactly what he needed to do. I cannot remember the time of year it was when I got this note, but on a plain white piece of copy paper, Troy wrote the words, exactly as he spoke, "You're the teacher in the wood," which he later told me actually said, "You're the best teacher in the world." I keep Troy's note to remind me that everyone, including all of you here today, have got here at your own pace. Some of you learn differently, some of you are at different stages of your life, but I hope that you're proud of what you've done today. I may be biased, I know I am, but I truly believe that teaching is the most important profession in the entire world. Teachers help us learn who we are. They teach us their content we need to know, but they also teach us how to work with others. And most importantly, they shape us into the adults we become later in life. Teaching is one of the most noble professions in the world, and I ask all of you to help me celebrate teaching, learning, and the importance of education in whatever career path you take. As you leave Shawnee State as nurses, businessmen and women, engineers, teachers, or whatever professional you are, I challenge you to never stop learning. Continue to grow in your field by learning the newest skills and strategies, advance your educational degrees, and continue loving to learn new things. In your career, I ask you to be a teacher. Teach those around you. Teach those who are starting out in your field and need help becoming successful. Be a mentor. Remember that others have helped you along the way and work hard to pay it forward. Never settle for status quo and always work to improve your skills by learning new things. Please help me support teachers. Please help me thank the teachers who have got us here today. I'm honored to be with you today as you celebrate this milestone in your life, and I wish you nothing but success in whatever happens in the next phase of your life. Even though no one in this room was likely in my classroom at any time, as a teacher, I want you to know that I'm proud of everybody here today. I'm proud of your commitment to education and your ability that you have right now to inspire others in your future. Thank you, and best of luck with the next chapter in your life.